Welcome to How I Unfucked My Life. I'm your host, Christine Degrazia, registered nurse and founder of Calm by Intention. On this show, we bridge the gap between mindset and physiology. We're combining the raw grit it takes to change your life with the clinical science it takes to regulate your nervous system, because it takes more than just mindset to calm a body in survival mode. Let's get into today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to How I Unfucked My Life. I'm your host Christine, and today we're talking about something that I did for most of my life without even realizing it. I apologized for existing. And if you just felt something in your chest when I said that, then this episode is probably for you. Let me paint the picture. You bump into someone in a grocery store aisle. Oh, sorry. Someone raises their voice at you, and you say, sorry. You ask a question at work. Sorry to bother you. You need something. You have an opinion. You take up space in a room. Sorry. I did this my whole life. From the time I was a child, I was the one who shrank, the one who made herself small, the one who said I'm sorry even when I didn't do a single thing wrong. I apologize for having needs. I apologize for having feelings. I apologize for just being here. And here's the thing about chronic apologizing that nobody talks about. It's not just a bad habit. It's a message you're sending to yourself over and over and over again. And the message is, I am an inconvenience. I am too much. I do not have the right to be here without permission. And after a while, you actually start to believe it. And this doesn't come from nowhere. Nobody is born apologizing for themselves. For most of us, it starts early. Maybe you grew up in a house where keeping the peace meant staying small, where having needs made you a burden, where the way to stay safe was to make yourself as invisible as possible. Or maybe it crept in through relationships, a partner who made you feel like too much, a boss who made you feel lucky to be there, people who, whether they meant it or not, trained you to shrink. And you got so good at shrinking that you stopped noticing that you were even doing it. That was me. I was so good at it, reflective, automatic. Sorry was just the first words out of my mouth in almost any situation. It was my default, my armor, my way of saying, please don't be upset with me before anyone even had a chance to be upset with me. And here's what I want you to really sit with. Every time you apologize for existing, for having a need, for taking up space, for being inconvenient, you're chipping away at your own sense of worth. And it's not dramatic, it's not a big moment, it's just a slow erosion. And the people around you, they take their cues from you. So if you treat yourself like an inconvenience, they will too. If you act like your needs don't matter, they will believe that your needs don't matter. You are teaching people how to treat you every single day. And when you lead with sorry, you're teaching them that you're something to be tolerated. Not valued, not respected, just tolerated. And you deserve more than to be tolerated. Now, I could give you a list of things to say instead of sorry, and we can call it a day, and that would be adequate and easy, but that would be a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Because the truth is, the reason you're apologizing, the reason I apologize for most of my life, is not because you have bad habits, it's because somewhere along the way you started to feel small, inadequate, like not enough. Like you taking up space was somehow an imposition on the world around you. And you can tell somebody to say, excuse me, instead of sorry all day long. But if they don't believe it, if they don't believe they deserve to be in the room, they're still going to feel like an apology waiting to happen. The real work is building the confidence to believe and actually believe that you deserve to be here, that your needs matter, that your feelings are valid, that you are enough. And it's not when you lose the weight, not when you get the promotion, not when somebody finally chooses you. Right now, as you are, just because you exist. That is not something you can fake your way into. You have to build it. Slowly, imperfectly, one small act of self-respect at a time. And it starts with catching yourself. Noticing when you shrink, noticing when you make yourself smaller so someone else is more comfortable, and asking yourself, why am I doing that? What am I afraid of? And the most important one, what do I believe about myself that makes me feel like I need permission to exist? Those are the questions that change things, not just the words you swap out. So how do you actually build that confidence? Because it doesn't just show up one day. You don't wake up and suddenly believe that you deserve to take up space. It's a practice. It's intentional. And it is most certainly uncomfortable as hell at first. Here's what it looked like for me. I started small. I started noticing every time I said sorry when I didn't mean it. Every time I shrank. Every time I swallowed something I wanted to say because I was afraid of how it would land. I just noticed. Without judgment, just awareness. And then slowly I started making different choices. Not big dramatic ones, small ones. Speaking up when I would have stayed quiet, asking for what I needed instead of hoping someone would notice, and letting someone else be uncomfortable for 5 minutes without rushing to fix it. And every time I did that, every single time, I deposited something into my own confidence account. It's not a big windfall, it's a slow build, deposit by deposit. And here's what I want you to know. You deserve to be here. Not because of what you do, not because of what you produce, not because of how useful you are to other people. You deserve to be here just because you're you. That's enough. You are enough. And the sooner you start acting like it, even before you fully believe it, the sooner it starts to become your reality. So here's where it changed for me practically, and I want to be specific because I think it helps. I stopped saying sorry for the things that didn't warrant an apology, and I replaced it. Now when I bump into someone, excuse me. When I need someone to wait, thank you for your patience. When I need to speak up or clarify something, just to clarify, or pardon me. When I need something, I just ask for it. No preamble, no apology for having the audacity to need something. And it sounds like such a small thing, but it's not a small thing. Because every time you swap sorry for excuse me, you're telling yourself something different. You are saying, I am here. I have a right to be here. My presence is not something I need to apologize for. You are not an inconvenience. You are a person, and people get to take up space. Now, before I wrap up, I want to say something directly to anyone listening who has been made to feel like their existence is an inconvenience by a parent, a partner, a boss, a friend, anyone. That was never about you. That was always, always about them. You were never too much. You were never not enough. You were never something that needed to be managed or minimized or tolerated. You were just in the wrong room with the wrong people who didn't know how to handle someone real. And I am so sorry that happened to you, because you deserve better. You deserved people who made you feel like showing up was a gift, not an imposition. Find your room. Find your people. And for the love of everything, stop apologizing for being in it. This week, I want you to try something, just for 1 week. Every time you catch yourself about to say sorry when you didn't actually do anything wrong, stop. Replace it. Replace it with, excuse me. Oh, thank you for waiting. Just to clarify, or pardon me. But more than the words, I want you to notice. Notice when you shrink. Notice when you make yourself small. Notice what you're feeling in that moment and ask yourself, do I actually believe I deserve to be here? Because you do. You always did. You just forgot for a little while. And this is me reminding you. So thanks for listening to this episode of How I Unfucked My Life. If this one hit home, like, share, and share it with someone who might actually need it. I will see you next week on the path. Thanks for listening to How I Unfucked My Life. I know the work is heavy, but remember, you aren't just fighting your brain, you're learning to lead your body. You have the grit to change your mindset, and you have the biology to find your peace. And every choice you make is a step towards the life that you deserve. So stop arguing with where you've been and start deciding where you're going. See you next time.